All right, good evening, everyone. This is another Kingdom Productions interview. Yes, we are interviewing the infamous Dorian yet again. This is
Yes,
interview three. Every time we interview, we always have a good time. I'm so happy for you. You have a new project out.
yes, yes.
The Arrival, Dream
The
World Part Two.
arrival. I'm here.
Dream World Part Two. Um, First of all, I just want to say, like I said, congratulations. You have been pumping these projects out back to back to back. It just shows your dedication. It shows your passion for
Yes,
your craft. And I
thank
just want to commend you. Like I got the album. I listened 100 times. I'm
you.
just really, I'm amazed at the growth, even from Dream World, Part One. To me, your vocals have just taking a step up. Like every time I feel like you put out something, it's something different about this album. This album feels very if I could have a word, it's like colorful. Like I just feel that the beats are very upbeat, they're very fun, they're very dancey, popish, but still keeping to your R&B core. And I feel like that's something that you've always done, but I just feel like this is just more fun. I don't know. It just feels summery. It just feels very
Yeah.
lighthearted. It's nothing. The lyrics are deep, but the feel of it is not as deep as the past projects. So do you feel the same way?
Yes, definitely. So I'm so glad that you are saying that because, I'm just in a different place in my life. And I love that I've been able to pour my soul out with every project. And so people can feel, the changes just with what I've been doing and what I've been going through, the story that I tell. It's a full circle moment. I am so proud of me and my husband and where we've come from and how far we've come. So it's a full testimony. It feels more upbeat and lighthearted because I feel
So are you saying that a lot of the songs were inspired by your relationship?
definitely personal life still. Things in the earlier projects, I was just going through a lot heavier time. I had dealt with some death in my life. I had dealt with family situations where we ended up not communicating anymore. So it was just a heavier time for me overall. And I think I was channeling that with the music then. But this time, it's more so focused on what's ahead and what I have going on in the present, and it's just a different feel.
Hmm. Um, Another question that I have is, when did you start recording this? Like, how far after Dream World Part One? Like, what was the transition in these two eras?
You know what's so crazy? It's hard to say because I'm always writing. I truly am always writing. And so even originally I had intended on doing like a deluxe version of Dream, which is more so what I was writing for originally. And then as time kind of passed and there were things going on personally, it had been an entire year before I had put out another even song. So I was like, I've got to kind of repackage this and make it feel new because I feel new. I feel like I'm in a different space. And so that was the thought process behind it. But I had been writing pretty much right after Dreamer was released. I was writing for the deluxe, which turned into part two.
So you was doing the Rihanna, going from one era to the next.
Period. Period. And it was in me, you know what I mean? I love writing. So I'm gonna keep writing until I feel like I have something, you know what I mean?
Got you. Um, so are you the sole songwriter on the album?
Yes. Every word, every lyric is all from the heart.
What about the producers?
So the producer, so I still have the same tactic that I've had, where I pretty much am browsing for beats that inspire me, beats that touch me. I connect with those producers, so I'll purchase their beats, and then This time it was a little bit different because of the pandemic and everything that we were going through at the time. I ended up going into Baltimore to record, which was a different uh, recording space than what I was doing originally. And so in this space, I will say this producer, I feel like he just pushed me more vocally. And so after that, I went with the same guy that I've mixed and mastered with. So a little bit of a different process.
Okay, yeah, I've heard from different artists that different spaces bring out different things.
Yes,
That's
yes.
so. Who are you? I'm just curious. Who are you currently listening to besides your own music? Who are you currently listening to now?
Oh man, so many people. For some reason, I'm like heavy on Chris Brown. I think because I'm excited for his new project that's coming out. I've been heavy on Brandy's 211. I don't know why I've been wearing that out. Mary J. Blige's new album is a banger still. I love it. I've been listening to Dave East. I love all his music. He's probably like my favorite rapper right now. But then a mixture of so many things. I love Normani's new songs. I've been listening to some other independent artists. So it's a combination of so many things, especially oldies. Gotta have that there. The classics.
Um, what are your thoughts on like current events? Like, I'm just now unpacking this shooting. I try to honestly, I try to stay away from the news, honestly. So like, honestly, I didn't find out about it until yesterday when I was watching the NBA finals.
Right.
And and that's just this reason why I stay away from it, because I just don't want to know things like this. So what are your thoughts on that?
I'm very much like you in the sense that I tend to not watch the news that much, just because it's so heavy, it's so sad, and I feel like the media focuses on those kinds of things, and so it's just on the natural. It's just hard for me to kind of pick up on it. But when I heard about it yesterday, my heart just goes out to the parents, especially because these are innocent kids, and I just feel like something needs to be done in the nation when it comes to these shootings, and we need to have a little bit more security or control of some sort over these situations because it's happening too frequently. And I feel like, that shooting in particular, I feel like it had gone on for too long before somebody had, handled the situation or tried to handle the situation. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things that we hear so often now in the news. So where, I've been even hearing comments from people where they're like, I'm numb to this. And that's so sad to even have to say, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it just shows the state of America that we're in. It's nothing controlled. I feel like everything is smoke and mirrors with us. I was like, we're so eager to support other countries, but while we have our own turmoil going on our own, and it seems to go just, oh, okay, just another day. We'll have a Biden, announcement, and nothing is done after that. I feel like I haven't heard from Kamala since she got into the office, and I was one of her biggest supporters, honestly. And I just feel like she said something today, but it doesn't even hit the same, because I'm like, where have you been this whole year? Like, honestly.
There's definitely some things that have to be addressed with that. I am definitely of that team where, I vote for them. You know what I mean? And I expected certain things, and I just wanted to have a certain sense of security that I don't feel. And then, just looking at the gas prices alone, I'm like, Joe, what is going on, Joe? What is going on, Joe? So, and then, yes, you're right, sending money to Ukraine and things. I just literally had that thought on the way home because I was looking, in my drive around, my surroundings and, just looking at the homeless situation, even in DC. I was just like, I just don't understand what we're doing. I just feel like, as a whole, the entire planet, really, I just feel like we don't have it all together. We really don't know what we're doing. There's too much hate in the world. I don't understand the war. It's a sad situation. I mean, all around.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like we have no plan. I just feel like we just operate in the day. Like, there's no plan to address these things. The NRA, it's just no concrete plan. I just feel like they just wake up in the morning and just make stuff up as they go. And that's just not how the world should be ran at the point.
No, not at all. And I agree. I feel like we should feel like we know where our nation's headed. Whereas I feel like we feel more like you're saying, like, what's going on? We're just living day to day, and then you turn on the news, it's some more bad news.
Well, you knew this was coming. So in the music world, what do you feel about the Jack Harlow and Brandy situation? Do you think that it's being, I honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Brandy is held to this standard that no other artist is held to. Like, I feel like she's put in a position where people can say crazy stuff about her. They can say crazy stuff about her family, and she's supposed to stay silent. But as soon as she says something, it's like, oh, she's doing too much. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. But any other artist, Beyonce, Monica, any other artist can say what they want to say and clap back, and that's because they're known for being hood or whatever. But I don't feel like we truly know any artist the way that their family knows them, or their loved ones know them. So I just feel like, if she wants to protect her family and protect her name and have fun with it, I feel like they followed each other. I feel like it's something that they already know. I feel like this is promotion, maybe for him, maybe for her.
Yeah.
She's going to do something in the
Yeah.
future. But what do you feel about it?
I'm always interested in hearing both sides of the fence. I definitely heard the opinions of, Jack Harlow should have known, Brandy, especially because of the type of music that he makes. And, to some degree, I do feel like that would have been a smart thing for him to do, is research some of the greats, because you cannot mention greats in Black music right now and not have Brandy in that conversation. And I feel like as long as he's been in the game, it may not have been a long, long time, I feel like he's been in the game enough to where her name has had to come up. You know what I mean? To where you work in these studios. Like, Brandy is the vocal Bible. So I know that that her name is coming up. So I'm not even going to go all the way in, but I do feel like, he is still young. And, he is Caucasian. So I don't think he grew up listening, to her. And so I do give him a pass in that sense. But at the same time, I do feel like I was a bit disappointed in the sense of like, dang, I thought you would have known. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
I just think at the end of the day that a lot of times, people love Black culture, they love Black people until it's time to be in our shoes. And I feel that in an industry that is predominantly Black that he's in, which is hip hop,
Mhm. Mhm.
you need to know who's who. Like, you need to know that Solange is Beyonce's sister. You need to know that Brandy and Ray J are siblings. Like, just like Michael
Yeah,
Jackson and Janet Jackson. It's to
yeah,
me, it's the known that you do. These are things that you're supposed to know. Now, you might not know every song of hers, but you should at least
yeah.
know that if you're going to be in our culture and embrace our culture and want us to embrace you, but you don't know anything about our culture. I just think there's something wrong with that.
Well, and then, even in the context of it, no shade to him, but it's like, it wasn't even just oh, did you know Brandy and Rich were brother and sister? No, they played this song, an iconic Brandy song. Her tone is unmatched and so recognizable. So it was just like fail after fail after fail for me. I was like, what is going on? Okay,
But I
he's
do
not
hope,
up to it.
yeah, I do hope in the end they end up doing something together, and
That
it
would be
brings
dope.
fans together instead of this division that's going on right now. Because I don't feel like the record, excuse me, the record that she put out, the freestyle today, was not a diss towards him. So why
No,
do you keep saying like she's doing too much and all over her, him not knowing her? That's not what it was. She's having fun with the
yeah,
record and just playing on the joke, just like everybody else. The stuff she was mentioning
yeah,
in the freestyle has stuff to do with her everyday life and stuff that goes on, her show being canceled, but you can't cancel me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
you
I
will
love the
recognize,
freestyle.
right.
It
You
it
will
was
recognize
dope.
who I am one way or another.
Yeah. And the reason why I loved it even more is, she did that whole thing without a single cuss word. Like, she kept her class in the entire situation, and it did not come off as press. It felt like she was spitting real bars, putting respect on her name, and it felt playful. It didn't feel like she was trying to really clap back. So I just hope she's in the energy and space of like, I don't even care what the haters have to say. I had fun with it, and I'm sure, like you're saying, they've had some conversations behind the scenes where I think it's peaceful. They're just keeping that buzz out there, and that's cute. Because keep talking about the queen.
So back to the album. You already know what my favorite song is. I already told you first. I'm
You
a big
did.
I'm a big Sade fan. I was so floored, because it's towards the end of the album. It was
Mhm,
unexpected, but
mhm,
instantly when you hear that Jezebel, when you hear that
mhm.
sample, just like Brandy, Sade. And so
Yes.
just what inspired, like when you heard that beat, like what in your mind was just like, oh, I gotta have this one. Like I gotta have this one. I gotta write
Yeah.
this one. Like what was that process like?
You know what? I'll be 100% transparent. I was in a space of just listening to Sade. Like, I'll turn on her collections, best of, and just zone out to her because her music is amazing. One of the best to ever, period. And so, as I was listening, Jezebel just kept, sticking out to me during that particular time when I was writing. And so I was like, you know what? Let me see if somebody's like tried to like tackle this in a different way. And so that's when I found the flipped version of it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I just got to write in it, and I wrote with the same kind of emotion that Jezebel was about, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But I kind of wanted to channel that bit of energy and kind of flip it in my own story.
Yeah, like it just like when you hear Jezebel, like I think when I heard it as a kid, it was one of the
Yeah.
most saddest, but the most beautiful saddest song.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
made you feel some type of way. So when you flipped it and the backgrounds on it are crazy. Like they're so
Thank
deep
you.
and rich. and then your vocal on top is kind of lighter than the you know. So it's just it's everything. Like I love that song. That's my favorite song on the album. Honestly, that's my
Woo!
favorite.
Yes.
That's my favorite song on the album. Just like because it's
Wow.
so unexpected. You don't think it to mix it with that type of beat, but it just
Mhm.
works. And the way that you know approach the vocal was still
Yeah.
classy. It wasn't doing too much. It wasn't going over it. You still could
Yeah.
feel the sample, to get the feel of the sample, but still your own spin on it.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy? I was so insecure about that song in particular. So where I almost did not even put it on the album. I was gonna redo an entire song.
Really?
That song literally almost missed, yes, because I just felt like it was different. I felt like I may have been doing too much, like with the sample. You know what I mean? I was like, people might be like, don't tackle side that. You know what I mean? All those thoughts started coming. I was like, "Ugh, I'm gonna rewrite another song. And the other song was good, but I'm glad I stuck with my gut.
Yeah, I'm glad to. Like I said, it's my favorite song on the album.
Thank you.
I see that you've been doing a lot of, well, a couple, not a lot, but a couple of live performances. You know, where
Yeah.
COVID, you know, protocols are kind of, you know, loosened. So, do you
Yes.
plan to keep doing that, or you have any more lined up? Or tell us about that.
Yes, I definitely want to perform more and more. And so, you're right. I have only done a few so far, to be honest, since I've been releasing music. And so I really want to be able to get more out there. I would love to do an entire showcase. And so I'm actually trying to figure out a way to do something to where I can do like a 30-minute set. You know what I mean? Where I have people come and I perform all of the songs or some of the songs that I've done with that in my entire discography. But I am going to be performing more than the year. I love popping up on different open mic nights and things like that. And so one of them that I actually started performing at, they're actually going to be doing an award show for their first annual awards this Friday, and I'm going to be attending that. And they actually nominated me for their R&B Artist of the Year, so that was really cool and unexpected.
Congratulations! I definitely voted for you. I seen the link, and I
Thank
definitely voted.
you. Ooh,
Congratulations!
thank you.
That's really huge. That's really huge that
Thank
you've been
you.
recognized in that manner.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much because it's just like, first of all, it's us, it's our community, it's our own people, and I love that feeling of the embrace. But I also want to keep performing and getting more comfortable because originally I was nervous and to see how I would be perceived, but once I got out there, I became like, I want to keep doing it. I want to keep performing. So for sure, I'll have that posted soon.
So, where do you feel that you are musically? Like with this, like I told you, this album, I feel like it's more fun, it's more upbeat. So, do you feel like going forward, this is the kind of pocket that you're going to stay in, or like what's next? Like what's next after this? Like, do you still like you're going to float on into the next era in this kind of space, or what's going to happen?
I'm definitely working still. I'm still working, always working. It just keeps me going. I'm a creative being, and I realize that, and so I'm always writing. And so it's a combination of everything right now. It's some of the stuff that have kind of resurfaced from the past, and there's some things that I'm just so happy about. So many new blessings that have been happening in my life, and I've been writing about that. And so it's so many different feelings. But I have something kind of that I've been thinking about in the works. I don't want to spoil any surprises and jinx it until it's solidified because I am a stand-up artist and I know what it's like to say something and then it go completely left and it not happen. So I definitely want to, stick to what I have in mind, and that would be, some new music here soon again. But I definitely don't want to spoil
Okay, so we know that the first single, "Rain Love."
anything. Yes,
Love that song by the way too. That's
thank
another
you,
that's another one of my favorites. I feel like you can just play it. I just feel like it has great replay value. Um,
thank you.
and you shot a video. Uh,
Yeah,
I love the. It was just different. Like it was just different. It seemed like it was like literally like a work of art, not just like a video. Like it just felt like
thank
a work
you.
of art. So, are you planning any more singles and any more videos that we can?
Yes, I have them scheduled for another music video. I'm not gonna spoil just yet exactly what song it is, but
If it ain't mine, I don't want to hear about
woo!
it.
Well, you know what? I do hope that people love it because I've had a vision for this song for a while. And so I do hope that people love it, but I haven't shot it just yet. So I don't want to spoil anything, but we are scheduled.
Okay.
Yes.
What was I gonna say? What has been the other like responses? Like I know that by now you've gotten feedback, and like what are they saying? And then is it encourage you to do more? Is it encourage you to kind of like what is it like? What is the response been that you've got?
It's been so much love, so much positivity. This time, I'm promoting this era a little bit differently, where I've partnered with a promotion company. And so I've been getting a little bit more exposure as far as like getting airplay and things like that overseas. And so seeing that kind of stuff um, on my stats and streams and things like that, I'm like, okay, we going up a little bit. I'm here for that. But even just, people reaching out via text message, DM, whatever it is, them appreciating my music is just so rewarding. And I particularly love when people say, they can hear the growth. I think for me, that is one of the biggest things that I want to keep doing is to keep learning, keep getting better, keep growing, keep getting feedback from people. So for people to be able to tell that there was growth in the music, that probably means the most right now for me because it shows that people can tell the dedication. You know what I
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, from each different project, you can definitely, like I feel like some albums, like the artist kind of like stays in that same lane. There's
mean?
nothing different. But I feel like every
Mhm.
project that you had has been something different, a different vocal, a different pocket that you got tapped into. So I feel like just always keep refreshing things. You never want to be the same. Part of being an
Yes.
artist is about changing and growth
Mhm.
stuff like that. So you definitely
Mhm.
have met that quota as far as change.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that.
So the question I do have is that
Mhm.
a lot of your projects have been EPs. And,
Mhm.
and right now in this COVID type of space, that's normal to me. That's normal right
Yeah.
now. But I was just wondering, do you have a plan for the
Mhm.
future to do a full
Mhm.
LP?
Well, with Dreamworld, I tried to do that. I felt like that was something that I tried to deliberately do at least more than 10 songs. I think that was 14. And I wanted to be deliberate in putting something together that I felt like was a full length body. Um, right now, I'll be honest and say there isn't a plan to do a full album because, like you're saying, we live in a space right now where people are releasing EPs and sometimes just singles. You know what I mean? Just putting music out. And so I want to be deliberate in putting out more music consistently, but I just don't know how I'm going to structure and body that entire body of work just yet. Not quite sure. But I definitely in the future, for sure, I'm definitely going to do more albums.
I get that. And speaking of, like getting the promotion, with your promotion team and stuff like that, as we
Definitely.
know, like I'm moving. So I definitely
Yes.
will be pushing, towards that market in Florida, Orlando. I definitely be pushing
Thank
your music down there. So you
Thank
should
you.
see a jump in your Florida
Thank you.
streams. Because
Thank you.
I just feel like there is a market for your type of sound, and
Thank you.
I think I can get it. I can get it there. So look out for that.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. You've been ride or die since day one, and I really do appreciate it.
No problem.
Work means so much.
Um, what has the response been on Beat Source? I know that you're one of the biggest Brandy fans that I know, besides myself.
Yeah. Yes.
What has that? It seems like it's been good responses, and I know that you flourish on
Yeah.
the love that you get from there.
Yes, definitely. I love anything Brandy source related because, that was a space that I've dwelled in for so many years, just being a Brandy fan, you know what I mean? And so a lot of those people have become like family. And so it kind of feels the same way when you get praise on there versus, my friends in real life and family and stuff like that in person where people are sending love, they see the growth, they have their favorite songs and things like that. So I appreciate that. I feel like I haven't seen anything negative and crazy, but they're also, nice to me. I love them, and I don't expect that to be, what is it? They don't care. They'll just probably keep on scrolling. You know what I mean? So
Do you have any? Because you're not really, to me, with all your projects, you haven't been really feature heavy. So, are there any local artists or any just artists, period, that you want to work with in the future and will be working with soon, or any new music that you have after this era?
there's definitely some potential collaboration with people that I do know and have, chemistry with already. But at the same time, I actually just talked to someone else about another artist that I just kind of got put in touch with. That is really dope. So I'm hoping that we can maybe get something going here together soon. So I'm definitely open to collaborating with people. I love collaborations. I think it's even more colorful way to get music. So definitely.
Yeah, so I have a question. So recently I went to the Lovers and Friends Festival in Vegas,
Ooh.
and awesome concert. And
Mhm.
just thinking about your music and stuff like that, like I feel like this album especially is very
Mhm.
festival music, the type of music that is played at festivals. So like, would you be, if you ever got the opportunity, would you be interested in like performing at a festival?
Yeah. Oh, please. Somebody tell me to perform somewhere. I'm gonna do it. Like I will do it. I definitely will be down for that for sure. Yes. Yes. Definitely. And sometimes I write with that kind of stuff in
Yeah. What about as far? Okay, so I have three more questions. I'm gonna let you,
mind.
but I have three more music related questions.
Okay.
So, knowing that you've still been writing, and that you never stop working.
Yeah.
Who would, if you could work with one
Mhm.
producer of your dreams on your next project, who would it be?
I feel like you asked me something like this before, and it's still just as hard because there's so many. There are so many, but I guess let me just, go
If you
with
was able
what.
to lock in with just one person who produced the whole album, the whole body of work, who would
Okay.
it be?
You may think I'm crazy, but I feel like I would love Jermaine Dupri right now. I love what he's doing with LMA. No, listen for real. I mean, I love the song Pressure. I think that is one of the best R&B songs that have come out in a long time. And so when I heard that from Ari Lennox, I was like, who did that? And then I heard JD on there, and I'm like, he still got it. And then it just makes me think of all the hits he's come out with. And I have an ear. I have an ear for melody. I would love to see what we could do. Um, I think he's dope. But like I said, there's so many. Pharrell came to mind, Missy, B. Cox, um,
I actually,
so many
I
people.
actually saw B Cox at the Lovers and Friends Festival. He was literally
What?
standing. He was literally standing right behind me, while
What?
Usher, Little John, and Usher, Lil Jon, and Ludacris performed. He was standing right behind me with Kelly Rowland's husband. They were literally
What?
standing right behind me. And
Oh my God.
me, I was looking for Kelly. But
I was about to say you should have turned my song on the thing and just press play and be like, listen to this. No,
yeah,
I'm
I
joking.
mean, it was so many people that I rubbed hands with that weekend. It was, I'm sitting there, and I think TLC. No, I think who performed. Oh God, I can't remember, but I just remember everybody was getting ready for Sierra's performance, and
Ooh.
everybody kept, like, oh my God, look, look. And I was like, who are they talking about? And I look
Yeah.
back, and it's Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is right behind me, and
What?
he got his team around him, and he's got his
Mhm.
camera out, and he's like ready for Sierra. And I was like, wow, this man really loves this woman. Like he's
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
I'm sure he done seen these rehearsals countless times, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
acting like
Yeah.
a fan. Like he's ready for her
Mhm.
to see her perform.
Yeah.
She did an awesome
I,
job, by the way.
I've
It was just
seen clips and
yeah, it was
I
just so many
loved it.
people there that you could just not imagine. But when I saw
Yeah.
it just made me think about that. But my favorite Jermaine Dupri song that he
Mhm.
produced was with Janet, and I think it was called I think I called I Want You, and it was off the
Okay.
I want to say it was like one of those, like those Nutty Professor soundtracks, but just it
I
had
have
this,
to listen to it.
it has this old school feel, and like
Yeah.
video, she's like walking through the street, walking through this grocery store, and he's actually in the video, like she's talking about him, and
I have to.
it was you've heard of
What
it,
year did it come out?
probably like 2000, probably like
The mid
2004.
2000s.
You've heard of it
Okay.
before. When you hear it, you be like, oh,
Okay.
I know what this is.
Okay. I probably just didn't know that
No,
JD did
well,
it,
I
but
definitely
yes.
was expecting Jermaine Dupri. I definitely that wasn't in my bingo card. Okay, the next question is, if there was an artist that you could work
Mhm.
with, only one, on your next project, who would it be?
Right now, the mood that I'm in, Chris Brown. I don't know. I just been standing for him lately. I feel like I would love to create like an R&B timeless record with him. I feel like we could do stuff. I do truly feel that.
Yeah, for some reason, this era is kind of weird for him, for me. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like back in the day, like you always knew when a new Chris Brown album was going to come out. And I just feel like, I don't know if it's COVID or he's having issues with RCA or something, but I just feel like
Yeah.
it's not the same push. Like
Mhm.
Iffy to me was a jam, like a summer
Yes.
jam, like the
Yes.
video, everything, the choreography. I feel
Mhm.
like nobody does it like him.
Mhm.
And then
No.
okay, that came and went. And then you
Yeah.
get We Embrace. And I'm like, okay, wow, like okay, and
Yes.
the R&B
That song.
like right.
Woo. Yes.
And then that came and went. So I just
Mhm.
don't know what is going on. I hope that he's successful in this era, but it
Yes.
just seems like something is going on behind the scenes, and I just don't know.
I'm hoping something pops off when it does release. I know it's supposed to release next month, so I'm hoping he's got some surprises. Because, like you said, with Iffy and Warm Embrace, I love them already. I'm already checking for the album. Like those two records are like some of my faves from him in a long
Okay, so the last music question, the last
time.
big
Right.
question is that at this point in your career, and you see how the music industry is right now,
Mhm.
if you had a chance to be signed,
Mhm.
would you choose to be signed or would you choose to stay independent?
If I had a chance to sign, because that is a very open-ended in the terms of like what the contract would look like, I would say yes, because I would hope that I could find something to where I could just have the support of a machine of some sort behind me to kind of push forward kind of the things that I have going on. I'm an independent artist and I have a full-time regular job, you know what I mean? And so I'm working all the time. My mind is always moving. I have so many things I have to take care of to the point where now posting is a task. So it's just a lot for me. So I would love to have something to where I could have some of that stuff for me, and then just for the visibility alone, you know what I mean, the level of exposure and support that I would get. I think that that would be something if the terms are right. I would definitely.
Yeah, you're right about having a team because these independent artists like Don and Tinashe, I don't think people realize, Maya. These people are
No.
doing everything themselves. They're financing these things by themselves. They're making sure their social media thing is there. They're touring. They have to be their own
Mhm.
booking manager. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's why I
Yes.
take my hats off to these independent artists because people
Yes.
just think that they still have this machine team and they don't. They have to hire these people on their own. They have to pay these people
Yes.
on their own. Background
Yes.
dancers, video,
Yes.
they're all coming from me. So
Yes.
that's why I respect them so much. And I see why in the end you want to stay independent. But I'm pretty quite sure that a lot of those artists were signed to major labels at one time and
Yeah.
they miss not having to do half of that stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. And even if it was, just for one era, like a one album deal, just to give me that exposure, and then I'll move on to what I got going on. You know what I mean? I would just love to have that ability to kind of be like a Dawn or Tinashe. I think that there's a level of authenticity with that that is so pure to where I really love that. But I would love some sort of deal.
Right. So before we go, do you have anything that you want to say to your fans, your supporters, about, like I said, what's coming next? What can they expect? When can we expect this mystery video and single that's supposed to come out? Like, at least give us something. Don't leave us without anything.
Yeah. Well, for one, I just want to say thank you for the love and support to any single person that listens to my music, entertained it for a second on YouTube or whatever. I just appreciate that because this was something that started off as like a hobby of mine and now has transformed and evolved over the years more and more. And so I appreciate every little bit of support. But I also, yes, have so much more in store. Like I said, I'm always working, more visuals, more performances. All of that is on the way. I do plan to be a lot more visible on social media here very soon. I've been talking about trying to evolve my YouTube channel very soon as well. So there's a lot of things in the works. I just have been, a one-man team trying to sort it all out. But I definitely have a lot in store that I'm excited about, and definitely.
So where can people reach you on social media? Throw your handle out there so people can follow you, your
Yes.
YouTube, your Instagram, your Twitter. How can they get in touch with you?
Everything right now is at It's Dorian Official. It's Dorian Official. The only, I think, handle that is different right now is It's Dorian LAK3 on Twitter. Other than that, you can find me at It's Dorian Official on any social media platform. I am there with my content. Please follow, subscribe, whatever you have to do.
Well, like I said, it's always a pleasure to.
Likewise.
I'm always interested to what you're going to do next. You've never disappointed so far.
Thank you.
The next video better be my favorite. I'm just playing, but I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview. And like I said, you always will have my support. And so I just appreciate you. I ask you just keep the same humbleness that you have. And I feel like you'll be successful. You have so far, and just keep being you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Likewise.
Well, you take care. And to everybody in the Kingdom Productions, this is another interview with Dorian. Like I said, make sure y'all follow him. Make sure y'all support. We have to support our own independent artists.
Yes.
And we out.